Okay, well, hit me with yours.
All right, well, so number 3 was going to be the run through. I wrote down my first run through for the record label showcase. So we tried really quickly to get the band together, and all that worked out fine. We found a rehearsal space so they could come out and see us. So we were rehearsing at SIR, a private venue for just showcases at the time.
Yeah.
So we went over there, and
such a good spot.
Oh yeah. And they wanted to have one full run through, and then we'd break for lunch.
Just one? That's just...
Well, the band had been practicing before.
Okay, yeah.
But
gotcha.
But yeah, for that show, it was just a one run through kind of thing. And then we'd have lunch, and then the record label would come in at like 2:30 that afternoon. And that was my shot. And so I knew for about a week that this was happening. Maybe not a week, maybe like 3 days, 4 days.
Right.
I knew that it was coming. So I was thinking about it. Nonstop.
Of course.
And I'm like, here it is, like 6 years in the making, and this is my moment. So they were like, come into that with your in-ears and everything ready to rock and roll. And and so we did sound check, and it was great.
Of course. It always happens that way.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to get signed and I'm going to be famous. And so they're like, all right, you want to do a full run through? And I was like, yeah, like, cause I'm like, let's do it. Like I can't get enough of like, when it's your own material and you have a full band of A-list play, like that can actually play.
Yeah.
It's so,
there's not a feeling.
There's nothing like it. Yeah. So I'm feeling so good. And we kick it off with this rocking number.
What happened? Did you fall again?
No, that one was great. That one was great. Just really quick. My dad flew my sister down because she was going to school up in New York. So he flew her down so that there could be a representative for the family there supporting me because I didn't have anybody else here.
Oh, that's so nice.
So my sister flew in.
Oh man.
And she's sitting with my manager and producer and publicist.
Your team.
The whole team was there.
Yeah.
And Sarah's over there with the team. Oh, boy. And I can see them all like talking to each other. And I'm just like, something funny happened or, whatever. And we get into the third song and my producer comes up and he kind of like waves his arms like that. And he's like, hey. He's like, it's good, man. It's really good. He's like, everything sounds good. I don't think we need to do the whole run through. I think we sound good. And I was like, oh, okay. You sure? And he was like, yeah. It's all good, man. It's all good. He's like, why don't you go home and like get some food, watch a movie or something? Cause you've got like a few hours, right? And I'm like, this is really weird.
No.
So I get in the car with Sarah and I bought a condo half a mile from the showcase place. So I was like, I'll just go home.
Yeah.
Went home, made a sandwich. I'm like, why the are we here?
Yeah.
And she was like, let's just put on, what's your favorite movie? And I'm like, what's going on? And she was like, they said that was so bad that they just wanted to completely reset for the day. And they wanted you to come here where you're comfortable and watch a movie, your favorite movie, and just calm down. And then go back and just rock and roll. I'm like, I need to go back over there, and I'm like,
practice,
I'm like, oh my God, what? And she goes, no, they said deliberately to keep you here until the label gets there.
That's even worse.
So I sat there and watched Walk the Line, trying to get inspired. And all I'm doing is thinking about like every scene where Johnny Cash is just like, life is over. Shoving a whole bottle of pills down my throat. I'm like watching it and I'm going, is this going to be me? Like, am I never going to even have a chance to like, so it all worked out in the end. I went back. It was, I wouldn't say, I never think I'm flawless. I always think there's 100 things I could do better.
Yeah. We're always so hard on ourselves,
but
it was good.
As close. Yeah. Where I was happy with my performance.
Yeah.
And, by that night, I got a call from the label offering the record deal, but it was that close that afternoon.
Oh my God.
And I didn't even feel it.
Right.
Because I guess I was so amped up that like I couldn't even tell where I was,
Yeah. Were you giving too much or like what was it?
I think so, yeah. I think it was just like pushing too hard and so I started being pitchy.
You needed to relax.
Yeah. And
just do your thing. Wow, how weird though. That must have been like super awkward.
Well, it was embarrassing because I literally got literally got sent home.
Yeah.
They were like, take your brother to the house.
Go to the principal's office.
Yeah.
Put the dunce cap on.
I don't even care if he comes back stoned. Like, at this point, just bring back somebody that's not going to do that up there. So I got really, really nervous, obviously, because if I was that bad that they had to cut the only rehearsal we had for the record label, I was like, it must be bad to send me home and be like, you know what? It'd probably be better just to wing it and try it one time for all the marbles.
Oh my God, that would stress me out so much. I need to practice. I'm a practice bitch. Like, I cannot for the life of me. Another reason I really respect musicians, because like you put in the time and you learn your theory and you have your number system down. You can go up and jam with people. You just need to know what key they're playing in and what the structure is, and you're good. And people do it all day, every day, and they just jump in and join. And I was never that girl. I was like, nope, I need to run through this 5 times at least. Like, let me be that girl.
That's what makes Nashville so scary, because it's like the big boy town, right? Like, because when you're in other places, you can be like, could you bump the karaoke key down half a step?
Yeah.
But like, you do that here, they're gonna look at you like, no.
Do it. You better
sing it the way it is.
Yeah,
get out of here.
Yep. You paid us to be on the stage. You better sing. And the only reason we let you is because we won your $20 bill.
That's right. All right. So what's yours? What's your next one?
Oh, my next one. Okay. So in college, I had the opportunity to open up for a country singer that was popular a little bit back in the day.
Okay.
And so we were at this venue. One of our friends just played there recently, and it can hold thousands of people, and it was a pretty big show, and it was my first ever like big show. And so I was really excited and looking forward to it, but for some reason I got it in my head that because I was performing with my dad's band, that I was going to be like the backup singer, and that I would, sit on a stool and he would do his songs. I'd kind of like harmonize with him, and then I'd do a couple on my own, but like it'd be okay if I sat. Well, I had this idea in my head like an idiot, and then I realized that I was going to be out in front with him on stage. I sat the whole time. What was I thinking? I sat my ass in the front of that stage. Everyone else was standing besides the steel guitar player. They have to sit, spoiler alert, and the drummer. Again, They have to sit. Keys, everyone else was standing.
So
super awkward. Now listen, my vocals were good because I was comfortable, I was relaxed, and like I was.
Well, really, that's all that matters,
I guess, but it looked really weird.
They're gonna be like, yeah.
I mean, it definitely, talk about stage presence. It was a no. It was
the
a
complete
no.
opposite of that. It was
gonna be a no for me, dog.
I mean, there was a presence, but it was just sitting there.
You want to hear the worst part?
Yeah.
We did 2 shows.
Oh God.
Sat both of them. I didn't even learn my lesson. I was like, yeah, this feels right.
Go see a rheumatologist after that. Get this pain in my ass.
God, literally, they're gonna think I had a hobble or something. I don't know. The only good part about it is I had really cool cowboy boots, and I'm not really a cowboy boots kind of girl, but everything else was all black, so I was okay. And I got to show off my cowboy boots, but that was pretty much the only upside to that.
So I love a good pair of cowboy boots.
Yeah.
Coming from the guy who wears sneakers all the time, if I have a good pair of cowboy boots, like if I got a pair of Ariats, those are like walking on a cloud. My manager got me when I signed my first pub deal. He bought me a pair of boots.
Okay.
And I was like, he took me. He's like, you can pick what you want within reason.
That's
of course.
So sick.
And so I said, oh, I really like these. And it was like this really cool, like snake skin, black and white snake. I hate snakes, but like on my feet, I'm fine with that. And
PETA. Just kidding.
PETA, if you know what?
Nope. We're going to save that.
Okay.
We're going to save that.
I was just going to say, but like, if PETA can't get the situation down in the Everglades with these anacondas and boas under control.
Yeah, you're going to wear them on your boots.
I'm wearing them on my boots.
Okay,
like,
that's fair.
They're paying people to go out there and wrestle these things out of there, you know?
I mean, I lived in
You
Florida
couldn't pay
for a
me enough.
minute.
You couldn't pay me enough.
No.
You could offer me $1 million check right now, and I would not go into the Everglades.
I mean, it's an interesting
would
experience.
You do it for $1 million?
I've been. Oh, and wrestle a gator?
No, a snake.
Oh, a snake.
Those big mamma jammas.
Yeah, the anacondas don't scare me as much as like the cottonmouths and the water moccasins.
Yeah.
Like the anacondas, they're big, but they can crush you. But I mean, one bite and you're dead. For the smaller ones, I'm almost more afraid of those guys. All right, what's yours?
Okay, so my dad, a great guy, and he's but he's old school, and he was in the government. He's
straight shooter.
Worked around the military his whole life. He's very straight shooter. So when I said I wanted to be an entertainer, it wasn't a mean conversation. It was more of like a why?
Why?
Like, why would you do that to yourself? And but no, he was very supportive. But so I finally got to do something big, right? So I was here in Nashville for I guess about a year, and a year or two, and I got a call asking if I would sing the national anthem on ESPN.
Wow.
For 9/11.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was up in New York, and so I'm just like, yes. And then I was like, can I sing the national anthem? Like I said yes before I even.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like I knew I could, and so I was like, sure, like that's. I didn't say sure. I was like, hell yeah. Like that's an amazing opportunity.
Even if I butcher it, I'm doing it.
It's it's millions of people. It's going to be great exposure and everything. And is what I tried to tell my dad.
Yeah.
So I called my dad. He was living up there at the time for work.
In the city?
He was in Jersey.
Okay, gotcha.
But he was, right. Like, right on that line.
Probably, yeah.
And so I said, hey, guess what? I'm coming up to New York. I'm going to be on ESPN. I was like, prime time, Thursday night football. I was like on 9/11.
Wow.
Within my military uniform, like not in my dress uniform, but in my BDUs. And I was like on 9/11, man. And they're saying 11 million people were supposed to watch.
Yeah.
Because it was the anniversary. It was like the 10-year anniversary or something of 9/11. And
yeah. I'm not going to tell you how old I was then.
It might not have been a 10-year. It might have been a 5. Maybe it's the 5-year anniversary, which makes it even worse probably for you. But
yeah, probably.
But anyway, so I say all of that to build it up so that you understand when I was offered it, how it felt to me at the time. I'm like, this isn't the national anthem at your local sports park or like, an NFL game or something. This is going to be prime time on a very, very important day in a very important place. And I was like, Dad, I'm kind of like speechless, but I had to call you first and tell you because, we're very patriotic. And
yeah, of course.
And he goes, how much are you getting paid? And I went, well,
Dad.
I was like, well, they're, I'm gonna make my dad sound like an asshole here, but he's not. He's the greatest guy ever.
Amazing.
But like, but this is exactly how it went down, and that's why it's funny to me now later.
Right.
And I said, 11 million people. The exposure is gonna be second to none. I'm gonna be able to sign autographs and stuff before. That means 70,000 people coming into the stadium. Like, I mean, I just dropping these numbers to make it sound so great.
Stats.
And
because he's a logical guy, you think that maybe he'll respond to that.
Right. And he goes, how much are you getting paid? And I said, well, like they're paying the flight and, my food and, stuff like that. I was like, but no, this is an opportunity that not everybody gets. I was like, this is like not a once in a lifetime, but this is a very rare like opportunity.
Yeah.
I was like, do you understand that? And he goes, yeah. Yeah, I get that. And he goes, until you're getting paid, it's called a hobby.
I love your dad so much.
And I was like, okay, thanks so much, man. So you're going to be there? And he's like, yeah, I'll see if I can make it. So when people are like, how do you stay grounded? Well, you need good parents, I guess. But I never had a prayer, like, because I've tried so hard. I have an ego for sure, but every time I try to like inflate it, my dad's right there to like pop it out.
Right there, put you right back in your place. That's what Dad's for.
But I think back to that, and he was there, by the way, at that game.
Yeah.
And I have a picture with him on the sideline, and it was just such an awesome moment for him to get to see me at my best in my career, and then him at his best in his, and both kind of meeting at the same place. It was really cool.
Right. In such different capacity as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that was the embarrassing part, but also the fact that the in-ears went out after all of that.
Oh, I would literally pee myself.
So I took them out, and then you just hear wah, 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 wah. It's like,
yeah. Oh, forget it.
Terrible.
Yeah, no, I don't mess with that. National anthems are a whole different beast. We should have a show dedicated to just national anthem experiences.
I would like as I'm as patriotic as the next person, but I'm also fuck it. I'm gonna say it. Like, why does Canada have a cooler national anthem?
Oh my god. You get to say that though. You're allowed to say that.
I figured like, yeah. I mean, I figured I probably get a few more freebies.
Yeah, you do.
Because of
you
certain
earned
things.
It, though.
But I'm asking the hard questions because I know that I earned it, and I can say it on behalf of all of us. Why do we have the hardest song ever to sing, and very few people do it justice?
Right, yeah.
So why?
I know. Here's the thing. If somebody asks me if I'll do the national anthem, I'm like, thank you so much for the opportunity. I would love to sing at your event. I will be the person that goes before the national anthem, and I will sing God Bless America.
God Bless America.
That's it. That's where it's at.
You're brilliant.
I'm an alto. I'm not messing with that shit. I will, and I have, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you want to see me shine,
don't
hand me the God Bless America card, and I'll take it every day. Land that I love, baby. Land that I love.
Land that I love, too, and that's why we should have a good national anthem.
Right.
Well, we don't.
A good, when you say good, you mean maybe more accessible to people.
No, I mean good. It's not good. I will debate that with anybody. I will debate it with the biggest redneck out there. You're more than welcome. Come here. We're going to have the conversation. Bruh. You got to know that when you hear "Oh Canada," you're kind of like,
weep.
You're kind of like inside, you're like, yeah, I'm a little jealous of that melody.
Yeah, it's a go-getter for sure.
I'm just telling you as a songwriter, you're a songwriter, guy working up there, songwriter.
Yeah.
Like probably all of our neighbors down there, songwriter. I'm telling you.
I know. I mean, that's the hot take for today. That's going to be a soundbite for sure. But anyway, okay, we got to loop. We're going to loop to the last cringy moment for both of us.
What's the cringiest moment?
Okay. It's probably not like overall the cringiest moment ever, but for me in my brain, this is the one that's burned.
Then it is.
It's burned a hole in the back of my mind. I was, during this cringy journey, we're working our way up. You got Honey, I'm Home as a toddler. I mean, come on, what was I thinking? And then all the way up to middle and high school, still making poor choices, into college. Oh, another bad decision. Boom. Brings me to more recently in my singing career. Well, one day I decided that I had graduated to playing guitar on stage as well as singing. I was going to be Taylor Swift up in that bitch.
Nice.
And I brought my guitar up on stage. I sang White Liar. I sang Gunpowder and Lead. I sang Wagon Wheel. I did a bunch of songs. I sang Turnip Greens, Good Directions.
Nice, yeah.
Great song. I sang a bunch, right? So I get off the stage. I felt so good for one of like the very like first times. I was like so proud of myself that I had gone up on stage in front of a full band. Like I had played guitar by myself plenty, but me playing rhythm with another band that actually knows their shit behind me, that's a whole different animal for me. And I did it, and I felt so great. I get off the stage, take my guitar off. I take the strap off. I look down. My shirt is unbuttoned to my belly button. My boobies were out the whole time. I was like, no wonder they fucking liked it. Nobody said anything. my supposed to wear out.
No, you were right. That is embarrassing. You said, no, that's not really the most embarrassing. No, you're right. That's embarrassing.
God, they were enthralled.
Sheesh.
It was just like full on out there. I was like, okay, didn't even feel a breeze. Those stage lights really did a number on me. Oh, yeah, that's my number one.
Oh my God. That's great. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so my number one most cringeworthy moment on stage did not happen while I was on stage. It happened while I was in the dressing room.
Oh, boy.
And
oh, no.
You were there.
I was.
And a lot of witnesses were there. So
set the stage for us, literally and figuratively.
We were part of a show.
The show shall remain nameless.
We had all come from different walks of life in different corners of America.
Absolutely.
To all audition as people do in our great country. And everything was really good. It was a great experience. The musicians were second to none. They're unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Every single performer, a friend of ours, we really, truly were like a family.
Mm-hmm.
And I love everybody to death. Having said that, there was this little routine that seemed to happen before the curtain would open.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't initially part of.
That wasn't a part of the show.
Yeah.
And it kind of got forced upon it by the higher ups. And this person would go out and try to get the crowd excited, try to fire them up, you know, and let them know all of our accolades and the things that we'd accomplished, which I gotta say, like, the next thing we knew, we had the number one show
on TripAdvisor
in Nashville, Tennessee, in Music City,
which was awesome.
Little old us, we're just sitting there like doing our job. And like, we worked really, really hard on that show every single night. Every one of the every single person, I can say that without fail, gave it everything they had. I've never seen anything like it before, where everybody was in on it.
Yeah, and we were all so hard on ourselves.
Absolutely. We wanted to be the best we could, and we wanted the show to work. And so anyway, long story short, long story longer, a lot of us are in the dressing rooms when the initial speaker talks to the crowd and lets them know you're about to see the number one show.
Yeah, right. Speaking to the facts
on TripAdvisor, but using right. So it's like you can say like I had a number one hit, and you're like, oh really, on the Billboard charts? And they're like, no, and it's like, well then no you didn't.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. So yeah, we were number one, and it is something to be proud of, and it showed in the people that showed up that it was working. And
but that being said, we got some attention from the Grand Ole Opry, and they just wanted to see what we were doing. They just really wanted to know, what is this, and is there any way that maybe we could work together, or maybe, you know, like, I don't know exactly what was going on behind the scenes, but I know that there were conversations being had. Right.
So this particular night, the Grand Ole Opry is sitting in the front row.
Right.
Okay, leadership from the Grand Ole Opry is sitting in the front row. And they're there to see our little old show.
And meanwhile, we had built our brand to be extremely humble, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we had gotten to where we were by putting in hard work, by, you know, showing up every day and being early and really like running through things and, you know, making sure that we had our shit together to the best of our ability.
You got it. Yep.
We put in the time. And then so what happened?
And so we never went out there bragging about being number one.
No, because that wasn't our MO.
Because we had bigger things in mind. And this was just the first stepping stone.
Right.
So remember the other day when I said, sometimes you can come to town and you can do something that'll kill you.
Absolutely.
By accident, that you don't even know is going to affect your career later on down the line, but it will.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is that moment. This is that moment.
Yeah.
In 17 years in Nashville, this is the worst most cringeworthy stage moment I've ever experienced. And so I'm backstage in the guys' dressing room with my fellow artist, and he and I are just listening. And so it starts off saying, "Welcome everybody to the show." So far, so good.
If we only had known.
We're so happy that you could make it. Now, I don't want to talk bad about the show because the people in it were amazing. Everything. This was just an isolated. No.
There
were elements to this show that
there's characters,
right.
And there's actors, and there's certain people that play certain roles. This particular role,
it'd be like if Steven Spielberg's wife like had to be in the E.T. basket instead of E.T. Like, you know what? You don't really look like you belong there. It probably should be E.T. And they're like, no, I think my wife would look better in the basket. Like, that's kind of what happened, to be completely frank. And
put her in the basket. That's going to be my new catchphrase.
So
put her in the basket.
So through no fault of the band, through no fault of the producer, through no fault of the artists, we were about to perform for the Grand Ole Opry as the #1 show on TripAdvisor, and hopefully join together.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, they would throw us a bone and help us out.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
I think we were talking about doing like Christmas shows with them, and then they would send people our way, like do a double location kind of thing. There was a lot of cool stuff that was in the works.
Right. And you can say that you're #1 on TripAdvisor, and you can say you're the hottest show in town. You're the newest show in town. You can say a lot of things, but the one thing that you don't say to the Grand Ole Opry sitting in the front row is people say we're even better than the Opry. Mic drop.
Oh my
show
God.
over.
Blacklisted immediately.
And we sat in the dressing room looking at each other.
Like, fuck, our careers are over.
And I went, did that just happen? And he goes, did she just say that? And I went, bro, I think she just told the Grand Ole Opry that we were better than the Grand Ole Opry. I think that's what just happened.
Oh my God.
And it was to the point where I'm sure for the females too, I'm sure for you guys, and I want to hear what, because you were there too. You were a part of this juicy night, and so I just want to hear what you have to say too. But he and I thought about leaving.
Wow.
Because I said, I'm not about to put my face in front of the Grand Ole Opry.
Attached to that sentiment.
Attached to that.
Yeah, no,
because
100%.
if they think that that's how we think back here,
it's over. It's so
done.
over.
And so, luckily we made up with the Grand Ole Opry.
It took a lot of work.
Thanks to
one of our other
cast
friends members. Yeah.
Yep.
But wow, what a shitty way to
that's how you shoot yourself in the foot. I wouldn't even say the foot, in the head. That's how you shoot yourself in the head.
Oh, easily done
on day one.
Yeah, because Nashville is Music City, and Music City is like has stemmed from all the history that is here. I mean, we're literally seeped in country music and music of all types, but specifically like people coming to the mother church and they're wanting to see, you know, part of who we are. And I mean, that is the Ryman, that is the Grand Ole Opry, that is, you know, the Opry House. And like, it's just, you don't do that. That should be obvious.
And the idea for the show was great because there's nothing like it.
Right. Yeah.
You do a history of country music in a 2-hour span.
People get to hear the songs they love. They get to learn a little bit. Like, there was a great concept there.
Great concept.
It was just the egos that got in the way.
Yep.
Well, that is for another day, but yeah, holy cringe. That's a lot of big yikes up in this house.
So we got Better Than the Grand Ole Opry. We got
Boobies.
We got Shania Twain.
Yep.
We got The Rose.
We got the national anthem.
Falling on stage. We got
Oh, the falling one. That was great.
I think we covered it.
Yeah, that was pretty full circle. I mean, we've been through a lot.
Guys, if that's not cringeworthy enough, I mean, we could have a round 2, but
I think that just goes to show that if you are passionate about something and you want to do something and you're worried about, you know, not being good enough or making mistakes, like, Yeah, that's a valid point. You should be concerned, but that shouldn't stop you.
That's right.
Because you can never be good at something without first trying it and screwing it up and sucking at it.
Just don't walk in anywhere and tell somebody.
Oh, Jesus.
People tell me that I'm better than everybody in this town.
Yeah.
Just don't do that, guys.
That's just not a good vibe at all. And you know
it's
what?
not good practice in any business.
Your MO, then maybe put down the wine glass and try again.
Maybe we drink after the show.
Yeah, let's set some boundaries. All right, well,
love you guys.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and listening to our cringy moments. If you have cringy moments, we want to hear about them. Please write to us. We definitely want to just soak in all that goodness because we're on a roll now and we feel like we need to know more embarrassing stories. So thank you so much for joining, and until next time, we'll see you guys then.
Peace, guys.
Bye.